Hello everyone, this is Rebecca Jane from yogawithrebeccajane.com and welcome to our practice for this session. This class will be about replenishing your energy. How many times do you feel exhausted, burnt out, overwhelmed? Raise your hand. I'm going to raise my hand. This practice is going to teach you how to actually kind of sit with whatever you're feeling. So what that means is to replenish energy. We often think, well, we should be pushing ourselves. We should go out and go for a walk, and we should, push through our yoga class. Everything has to be pushed through. Sometimes that works, but sometimes it doesn't. So I'm going to teach you a mindfulness tool of just being where you're at in this moment, acknowledging how you're feeling. And we're going to start the practice with going very, very slow and a little bit lethargic. So no real oomph in the first part of the session, a few minutes into the session. And then we'll start to slowly increase the energy level or the cadence of the class. But that's only if you're going to be following your body's rhythm. Breathe as you would normally breathe. Follow the breath, but you don't have to push yourself to feel energized. Or there's this whole idea of, oh, I have to be a certain way, or I have to feel a certain way, or I should. Should's a big thing. And there's no shoulds in this practice. There's just letting yourself be yourself as you feel in this moment. Okay, so we're going to start with a stretch. So the mantra is start where I am. You're gonna start where you are in this moment. So if you need a cushion, you can definitely use it. We'll start with the stretch. Let's begin with placing our right shin in front of our left shin. If you can do shin to shin, that's great. If that doesn't feel good, don't worry about it. If your knees are up to your ears, a cushion might be helpful for you, or a blanket. But other than that, we're gonna just go with the flow. Just let things evolve. Let your energy level change and shift without you forcing it, okay? Let's just take a deep breath in. And as you exhale, settle down into your forward bend. With this forward bend, you can take your elbows, place them on the ground. Not all of us can do this comfortably. You can put your elbows on a block or a cushion. And take your hands and cradle the skull, the top of your head, the crown of your head. And let the breath just be what it is. Just be here in whatever you're feeling. It will shift, but let it shift at its own when it's ready. And let's take a breath in, and as you breathe out gently, just roll yourself up. Take your shoulders to your ears, roll them back and down. And then take your left hand on the outside of your right thigh, right hand behind your back. We're going to do everything from the right from this point. Inhale, lift up through the crown of the head, and let's twist to the right. Let the shoulder relax, the right shoulder. And let your breath evenly flow without putting any pressure on yourself to breathe a certain way or to feel a certain way. Just here you are in this moment. We tend to, in our culture, we're very outcome oriented. This time we're not going to be outcome oriented. We're just going to see where it takes us. And then let's spin back to center, still over to the right hand side. Place your right hand on your right, outside your right hip. Inhale your left arm up and stretch to the right. A beautiful way to just kind of get yourself into the groove whatever time of the day it is for you. And just follow, let the eyes close, feeling into whatever's happening. And then inhale, lift back up, come back to center, and just change the cross of your legs, shift shin to shin. And then just slowly slide your hands forward, find that elbow on the ground or not. Cradle your skull with your hands. And let your breath flow evenly, just watching. Even yoga can be quite outcome-oriented. It's, in a way, you feel like you're a performer at times. And it really isn't meant to do that, but you can. And now, today, it's just about seeing how you feel, how much you want to breathe. You don't have to do anything perfectly. Let's sit back, let's roll back up, and let's take your right hand to the outside of your left thigh, left hand behind your back, breathing in. And as you breathe out, just gently stretch and twist. And let's inhale back to center, and let's take your left hand to the outside of that left hip. Inhale your right arm up to the sky and stretch over to the left. Take the breath in and out, just a gentle breath. No need to do ujjayi. You might get to a point where you want to, you're ready, but you might not. And then lift up nice and tall, and let's just take the legs, hug the knees into the chest for a moment. Take a breath in and take a breath out. And then from here, to extend your right leg out to the right side, left foot into the groin, left heel into the groin. And legs are wide. Just let your hands slide forward. Let's fold forward over towards the front of the mat or in front of your shin, in front of your left foot. And you can settle down here again. You can do the cradling of the head or make a pillow with your arms. So what we find is that if we accept how we start from where we are, whatever we're feeling, we can then start, that's one of the ways we can replenish our energy. Walk your arms up, hands back up. Let's take your right hand on your left thigh, your left hand behind your back. Breathe in nice and tall, and that's twist. As opposed to denigrating ourselves or berating ourselves for being tired, for being burnt out, just letting us be in that state for a little bit. One of those things where you let yourself be that way, and then rather than white knuckling it all the time. And then you'll feel more replenished, and then the energy will actually come, believe it or not. We're going to stretch over, we're going to do a side stretch over our right leg, either the right arm inside that right leg or on top of it. Inhale your left arm up to the sky and stretch it over your left ear. And it's not necessary to go very deep here. You can just you don't need to push yourself. There's no pressure. And if you want to add on a little bit, you could wrap that left arm around the head with the fingers touching the right ear or there or about, and let the head drop into that hand. And just feeling into the part of the body that's getting this stretch. It's an interesting stretch, this one. Then inhale, lift back up, let's just shake out our legs, do a little shake of the arms, and let's switch. Right foot inside your left thigh or around the groin area, left leg out to the sides. Just breathe in and then fold forward.
How many of us do white knuckle it through many things, and we feel that something's wrong with us because we're not in that state of enthusiasm.
Walk your hands back up, or creativity, or whatever you might be looking for. Let's take the left hand on the right thigh, the right hand behind, a gentle twist on this side. It's interesting, the moment you give yourself permission to feel how you feel without trying to change it or questioning it, it dissipates. You'll see how it works. Now let's take your left hand either on the left thigh or inside that left thigh. Reach your right arm up to the sky and stretch over towards your left foot. It's when we're fighting it and we're resisting the feeling that it ends up either getting worse or usually often it gets worse. It becomes, or it changes, it shifts to something worse than that. And come onto your hands and knees. So sit back on your heels into a child's pose. Make this a real comfortable child's pose. A little pillow, you can even put your forehead on a pillow or place your forehead on your arms, make a pillow with your arms.
This is very close to being a restorative class in a moment, but we're going to begin to move into a slightly more flowy class.
Let's inhale into your tabletop and curl the toes under. Either sit back into an extended child's pose or follow me into a downward dog. So starting to kind of pick up the cadence a little bit. Increase the rhythm of your body through repetition. So in your downward dog, you're going to either with your knees down or up, just float about five times, maybe up to 10 times into your plank, and then press back into your into your downward dog. If you're doing it on your hands and knees, it would be into your plank and then into child. So just keep going forward and backward. Either merging the breath, blending the breath with the movement, or not. Maybe just breathing and floating back and forth. Again, no pressure to have to be in any particular mood or any particular place. Just be where you are at this moment and watching your body kind of change as we move through the class. Let's do one more plank and lower the knees down and come all the way onto your tummies. When you're into your Sphinx pose, elbows under shoulders. And just keep the tops of the feet on the ground. Take a breath in, let your heart open forward. So lift your heart, lift your chest. You don't have to overdo this one, just a gentle heart opener. And then exhale, staying on those knees and shins and tops of the feet. Look back and gently pick everything up off the ground until you're almost in an all fours, but on your forearms. And you can even create a little cat shape with your spine. And then inhale, let's lower ourselves down. And open up the chest again. And you don't have to overdo this. You don't have to pull the tummy muscles in. And there's no extra here. There's just what you feel you want to do now from your body's point of view, from your mood. If
If you feel like it, your body says, oh, I do want this little extra something, then do it. If it doesn't, don't do it. Let's do one more set. Lifting up, looking back, coming onto those shins, rounding the spine, and then inhaling, lowering yourself down, back into your Sphinx pose. And then come all the way down to the ground. Take your hands next to your chest, lift up into your extended child's or downward dog. So we start to speed up a little bit, just a little bit. Either from hands or knees or from your downward dog. Step your right foot between your hands. Lower your left knee down. So you can do it from your hands and knees as well. Keep your hands framing your right foot. If you don't have, you can put blocks if you can't touch the ground, or I suppose somehow find a way to kind of elevate those hands, bring the floor towards you. And then curl the back toes under, lift your left knee up. Take a breath in, and as you breathe out, lower your left knee down. Keep the toes curled, the back toes turned under. And we're going to repeat this, lots of repetition. Straighten as you inhale, exhale, bend. Straighten as you inhale, exhale, bend. So when we're in a kind of a funk, we often need just simplicity, basic stuff that we've been doing for a while. And then let's pick the left knee up. Let's step back into a downward dog. And then take a breath in, and either from your hands and knees or from downward dog, step your left foot between your hands and lower that right knee down. And just repetition and basic things is all we need at this moment. Nothing new, nothing that we have to think too hard about. Straighten your right leg as you inhale, exhale, lower the right knee down. Inhale, lift that right knee up, and exhale, rebend. Inhale, lift, and exhale, bend. Whew. This time, exhale, bend, and step your right foot forward this time. Forward bend, you're at the front of your mat. And just take a moment here to sway from side to side. Sometimes it's nice to have permission to just feel the way you feel. It's really important we do that. Or else there's a constant pressure to be happy or to do the perfect pose or to you know, if you're at work, to always do the best at work. And sometimes we don't want that. We don't need it. Bending the knees, let's slowly roll ourselves up through our ragdoll up to our mountain pose. And we're going to go through a basic sun salutation. Very simple. If you've been doing yoga for a while, you know this really well. Inhale, reach your arms up. Exhale, forward fold. And then just inhale halfway. And then exhale, step your right foot back. Lower your right knee down. Inhale, lift your arms up into that low lunge. Exhale, lower the hands to the ground. Step back, downward dog. We're not going to go into, if you wish, you can always go into the vinyasa where you do the plank down through the chaturanga and cobra, but I'm going to just do half of this right now. Take a breath in, and as you breathe out, step your right foot between your hands, then the left foot next to your right, forward fold. And then inhale halfway. Exhale, forward fold, and inhale, sweep your arms up to the sky. Exhale, hands to heart. Inhale, reach your arms up to the sky. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway. And then exhale, step your left foot back. Lower your left knee down. Inhale, sweep your arms up. Exhale, lower the hands down. Step back, downward dog. Take an inhale, step your left foot forward. And then your right foot forward, forward fold. Take an inhale halfway. Let's exhale, forward fold. Let's inhale, sweep your arms up to the sky. And exhale, hands to heart.
So take a pause here in your Tadasana with your hands at your heart center. And start to notice, is something changing? Is there a shift? If there isn't, it is whatever it is. Accept, acknowledge how you feel. Start again from where you are. Where are you now? You might actually start to feel different. Let's let the hands drop. Let's go into our, we're going to do a tree pose, standing balance. Take your left leg as your standing leg, right foot is on your left ankle, and either slide it up a little further on the calf or inside your left thigh. You might decide, today I want to just do a simple tree. I don't have to go crazy here. So put it further down your leg. Squeeze your bottom cheeks, that's always important. And then maybe the arms lift or maybe they don't. Be a tree. Be a tree. Whatever tree you're in the mood for today. Not a perfect tree, an imperfect tree. Let the hands come back to your heart, lower that right foot down. And let's do a few little circles of the hips. So I've done this class before. It's a different kind of a yoga class. It's kind of starting at very low key. Actually, the whole class is low key. And I've had such positive, bring your feet together, take your left foot on your right ankle. And maybe it goes higher, maybe to the calf, not anywhere but the knee. Wherever you decide to go, let it be where, not where you think you should, but where you feel like it. And then reach the arms up, that's a possibility. And the positive thing is that, especially some of my morning people, they say, God, I was so tired when I first sat down, and I barely could make it to the mat. And I was so grateful that I was given permission to be tired. Take your left foot down, take the arms down, and let's do a few little figure eights with the hips. And then I felt like a different person after the class. And I thought that was really interesting. So this is the class. So coming back to the front of the mat, if you've moved, inhale, reach your arms up to the sky. Let's exhale, forward fold. Inhaling halfway. And then exhale, step back, downward dog. And then lower the knees to the ground. Come onto your right hip. We're going to swing around and let our legs swing to the front. And we're going to lower ourselves onto our backs. And once on your back, hug your knees into your chest. Now we're going to do an inversion. Some people, you might be a headstand person. You could do that if you'd like that. Or we're going to do a shoulder stand. And the reason for this, I'll let you know after we've done this shoulder stand. Now, options for shoulder stand, you can lift the legs up, put a block underneath your lower back, and this is where you stay. This is just perfect for you. That's enough. The most important thing is not to look from side to side. Always look upwards or towards your knees or up towards your feet. If you look from side to side, you could tweak your neck. If you're following me into a shoulder stand, the first thing you do is place your hands on your lower back and bring your feet over your head. Hold this for a few breaths. This is a plow, and this just gets your spine stretched out. And if you can touch the toes behind your head on the ground, then you can release the hands. If you can't, just keep the hands on your lower back, supporting your lower back. And just breathing gently. If you can, it's a tough place to breathe in this position. Try and get the breath right into that rib cage. And then when you're ready, if your hands are off your back, bring them back on. So they're on your hips, your pelvis, and you're lifting your legs up. Now you have an option of bringing them all the way up so they're pointing towards the ceiling. or they're on a diagonal. Remember the class, we're dealing with being tired, overwhelmed, burnt out. Don't overdo this. You'll get enough with the legs on a diagonal, or with your bottom on the floor, or your lower back, I mean. And just let yourself stay here for a few breaths into the shoulder stand, holding it without putting too much pressure, putting too much emphasis on perfection, of doing it just right. Safely important, but not perfectly, is not what we're going for today. And then when you're ready, bring your legs back over your head into the plow. Just pause here for another breath. And then slowly lower your legs down, taking your time, no rushing here. Once you're finished, whatever shoulder stand you did, everybody place their feet flat on the ground and let their knees knock together. If you have a block underneath you, just take that from underneath your lower back. Closing the eyes, knees knocking, feet wide. And just let yourself settle here for a few breaths, feeling in to your, how am I feeling now? And then let's unknock the knees, separate the knees, bring the feet in a little bit closer, and let's just lift up into a gentle bridge as a counter stretch for what we just did. So you don't have to come all the way up to your upper back or off your upper back. It can be just the tailbone. It can just be the lower back, the middle back. And just let the breath in and out, not a huge deal. And then lower yourself back down. Hug your knees into your chest. And let your knees sway from side to side. Open the arms out to the side. Drop your legs to the left. Turn your gaze to the right. So the shoulder stand is an inversion, just like very similar to headstands and handstands. And they actually enhance your mood. They're mood enhancers. And they also turn off the the stress response, and turn on the relaxation. And your circulation they help circulation, and you feel different. You feel replenished. That was the key. It was not to increase energy, it was to replenish the energy, which is absolutely even better than increasing energy. We don't need to be energized. Bring your knees back, hug your knees into your chest, and then open up the arms, knees to the right, turn your gaze to the left. We spend enough time running around, feeling anxious and having that hyper type of energy. This is giving us energy that we can actually work from, which helps us it's sustainable, this energy. And it's also very loving and soothing. And it also induces creativity. It's a wonderful, wonderful thing. Hug your knees into your chest. One of these classes that is absolutely essential, at least once a week. So let's prepare our bodies, maybe even once a day, maybe every day. Not every day, but every other day. Open the feet as wide as the mat. Let's let ourselves settle into our shavasanas. And whatever shavasana works for you, maybe you want to take the soles of the feet together, let the knees open. Cover yourself with blankets, a pillow, whatever you need to feel comfortable, and let yourself just be. So as you continue on in your Shavasana for another few moments, for another minute or two, or maybe 3 or 4, however long, when you do come out, roll onto your right side and pause in a fetal shape first before you come up. And when you do come out, check out how you feel. Making a note of how maybe you felt when you first started and how you feel now. Replenished energy, as I said before, feels different. It's one of those things that we don't do enough of. We go from either we push ourselves to the maximum and then we crash. That's too common. This way we're balancing everything out. So start from where you're at, where you are, where I am. That's the mantra. Start from where I am. And then let's see how things evolve. Thank you so much for being with me. This is Rebecca Jane from yogawithrebeccajane.com. If you enjoy my videos, just press the button on the right-hand corner. Comment, let me know how you like the classes, and thumbs up. Other than that, thank you so much. This is Rebecca Jane. I will see you soon. Namaste.